I was trying to make a video the other day and it occurred to me that my combat is rubbish. So what I want to try in this video is to try to make the combat have more of a narrative flavour, if only a tiny bit. And I think in order to do that successfully in a solo game, it's going to take very few amount of heroes, because otherwise it could get too complicated. So what is happening here, I've taken 2 pre-gens out of the 5th edition starter set, and the thing about the 5th edition skeletons here, I really like how they are described as having, or being assemblages of bones animated by dark magic. Skeletons heed the summons of those who create them, or rise of their own accord in places saturated with deathly magic. And I've always thought in the older editions, sometimes when it's described, oh, they need to be controlled by an evil wizard, I always felt pressured to squeeze in an evil wizard somewhere, even to have one at the back of my mind, even if they didn't show up in the actual adventure. But with this 5th edition skeletons, I can have skeletons wherever I like. They just crawl up out of the ground whenever I want them. And that's exactly what's happened here. Our heroes are on their way to the Watchtower of Amon Hoams. That's the Watchtower of Amon Hoams. And these skeletons in this former battlefield have been risen up. They've been awakened by the approach of the heroes. And we're about to have a bit of a fight. Now we're going to roll initiative. And it says in my rulebook here that the DM makes 1 roll for an entire group of identical creatures, so each member of the group acts at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do for the skeletons. So my fighter, Bran, gets +3 to his initiative. 17, 18, 19. My dwarf, Jorg, gets a -1. 17, not bad. And the skeletons get a... yeah, there you go, last. Yeah, the skeletons get +2, so they have a total of 4, so they're going 3rd. Now what I'm going to try and do is use hit locations to try and help with the narrative of the fights. I mean, you can do something really simple like this. You know, roll the d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on your hit location. 6. That's the left leg. Fine. But I have this crazy hit location die, and I'm going to use that because it's silly and fun. Okay, so Bran goes first. He's going to dash into attack. 30, 40, 50. He has a movement of 30, so he's doing double his movement. To leap in to attack this skeleton, I think you're allowed to do that. So he rolls to attack. Skeleton's AC is 13. Let's see where he's aiming to attack. Left foot, so he's going for the left leg, let's say. And that's where he swings his sword. He rolls his die. +4. 8, that's not enough. So he swings for his leg and misses. Now, our dwarf is going to attack. He has a move of 25, so he can dash into attack if he wants, but what he's going to do is move forward a little bit and try to turn undead. I made an old school assumption. The cleric cannot turn undead until 2nd level, when he gets his channel divinity. What's the point of a cleric then? Just the healer, isn't he? Okay, well he is going to charge in with his dash and attack this skeleton here. Now with his warhammer he gets +4, and that's a 9. He swings for his right arm, so he's going for his sword arm there, and he whooshes past it with his warhammer, but doesn't do anything remotely effective. Okay, so the green skeleton, the one looked after by the green die there, will attack Bran, rolling his die to get a +4 to hit. That's a 9. That is not good enough to beat his armor class of 18. He swings for his chest. It's not giving much to the narrative, is it? But I'll stick at it. And now the white skeleton is attacking Jorg. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is not enough to beat his armor class of 14. He swung for his head there. I really ought to do this first. I'll try and remember that. Now we go to the top of the initiative, and Bran will slash with his great sword with a +4. That is 13, and that is just enough. So he hits the skeleton in his left leg. Okay, okay, we get 2d6 plus 2 damage. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 damage to the green skeleton. Now Jorg with his warhammer. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is not quite enough. He swings past the skeleton's chest there. And it's time for the skeletons again. The green skeleton will attack. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Misses narrowly Bran's chest there. And the white skeleton attacks Jorg. 3. That is not going to do anything as he swings for his right hand, his weapon hand there. Now, top of initiative, Bran leaps to attack and gets a fumble. But that just means the attack misses. So, okay, Jorg, what can he do? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is enough as he hits the skeleton smack in the chest. And how much damage can his warhammer do? 1d8 plus 2 bludgeoning damage to the chest. And they are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage, skeletons. So whatever he rolls is times by 2. 2 plus 2, 4, 8 damage to the white skeleton. Now the green skeleton will swing for Bran, aiming for his left arm, his shield arm. If he's got a shield in his stats, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter. Oh no, that is a total miss. Now the white skeleton will attack Jorg, aiming for his left leg. And that's 16, that's a hit for Jorg. The skeleton hits with his short sword, his left leg there, and rolls some damage for his short sword, which is 1d6 plus 2. That's not bad, 3. Jorg has a bit of a cut to his left leg now, and we go back to Bran. And if you're wondering what the noise is in the background, it is very heavy rain here in Hobbiton. So Bran attacks 20. That's good. Where does he hit? The right leg again. So we get a critical. So Bran rolls 4d6 instead of 2d6 because he's got a critical, and then he adds 2. So that's 20. Basically the skeleton's right leg is smashed to pieces and he crumbles into a pile of sorry looking bones. Well, that's him sorted out. Now, can Jorg do something similarly spectacular as he swings for this other skeleton? Oops, that didn't roll at all. Right hand, he's going for his sword arm. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, is that? 15 total. So he hits the skeleton. He gets his 1d8 plus 2 bludgeoning damage, so this damage will be doubled. Yes, he basically just smashes the skeleton's right arm off. And again, he crumbles to a sorry looking pile of bones. So it didn't add a great deal of extra flavour to the narrative, rolling 4 hit locations, but I didn't feel like I was just standing there relentlessly rolling dice. I was thinking about where the hits were going, and it just added a tiny little something. Now, I'm sure there's better ways to do it. For instance, using the terrain, of course, is a really good way of adding things, adding interest to the combat. I've been having a bit of a look at this OSR Solo. It's from Drive-Thru Games. It wasn't. It was less than $1. I forget how many cents it was, but it's only what, 4 or so pages, 8 pages rather, and it gives you some interesting charts and some neat ideas about how to run a solo game. And there's a simple little oracle here and some unexpected plot twists, and it basically encourages you to get into a creative mindset where the game is yours, the story is yours. So if you really want a thing to happen, then by all means make it happen. Don't wait for a die roll, because you're enjoying your story, and you'll have fights which are difficult, you'll have challenges which are difficult, but don't feel you have to punish yourself. If you want your story to go in a particular way, then you go for it. And it runs it like scenes in a film, a bit like, similar to the mythic idea. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's play with that a little bit. And just as a brief example, on this oracle, you roll 2d6 of different colours, preferably. And the first one gets you your result, and the second one, if it rolls a 1, then there is a plot twist. So what I'm going to ask is, can we find any clues on these skeletons as to who or what may have risen them? Now, for that I'm going to roll the orange one, and the red one will be for the plot twist. So if we get a 1 on the red die, there's a plot twist. So can we find any clues on the skeletons? That's a 3. I left it at 50-50, so I didn't. If a result is likely, you add +1. If it's unlikely, you put a -1. But we rolled a 3. There's a complication. A complication should stand between the character and the subject of the question. The complication is the first way in which the solo engine can take your game in an unexpected direction. For example, you look down the street and ask, is there a horse I can steal? The result is complication, and the first thing that comes into your mind is that looking down the street, you see your arch-nemesis riding into town with half a dozen of his mercenary followers. Well, in this case, the subject of the question was, can we find any clues as to what may have caused these skeletons to rise? And just because I want this to be a bit of a combat fest, I'm going to say that the complication is that some more creatures have arisen, and we're going to have to deal with them. Now, I'm going to decide that it's only one zombie, because looking at the stats, they have an average of 22 hit points, and I think that's a bit crazy, and it could kill all of my crew. So I'm going to roll this guy's hit points. Yeah, he's ended up with 20 hit points, so he was surprisingly tough. Easy to hit, slow, but yeah, tough. Okay, immune to poison, that kind of thing. Saving throw, no bonus. And they attack with a slam. Okay, 5-foot reach. Let's get this show on the road. Let's roll some initiative. Now, they get -2 initiative, which is also rather good. So he gets 1 initiative. I think he might be 3rd initiative order. Bran gets +3. 7, 8. And Jorg gets 11. -1, 10. So Jorg goes first, our cleric, who cannot turn undead yet, which is a surprise. Right. So Jorg, what are you going to do? So Jorg is going to dash into combat with his warhammer, adding a +4, I believe. 16, that is plenty. So the zombie doesn't have any damage vulnerabilities, which is a real shame. So we roll for this hit, left arm, and the damage is d8 plus 2, 4 damage, so we're down to 16. Now Bran rushes to attack with his +4 with his great sword. 17. Oops, sorry. He hits him square in the body and rolls his 2d6 plus 2. 10. That's good. That's good. I like that. Now, as Bran has just damaged the zombie will attack in retaliation, and with his +3, with his slam attack, 10. That's not going to do it. The zombie tries to slam Bran by trying to grab his right arm or something, but sadly for the zombie, misses. Now we are back to Jorg, who will swing again with his mighty warhammer. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 total, and he rolls his d8 plus 2 for his attack against smashing the zombie right in the body. 5, 6, 7. Now, the zombie has a special ability. The zombie has Undead Fortitude. If a attack reduces the zombie to 0 hit points, actually less, it can make a Constitution saving throw. I'm going to give it this. If it is bang on 0 hit points, then you know it's actually reduced to less than 0 hit points. But I'm gonna go with this. I'm just taking this from the starter set rulebook. Yeah, there's no more elaboration in here. It does say if the zombie drops to 0 hit points, then it can have this ability. It's actually dropping to -1, but I'm going to let it have the ability anyway. I mean, why not? So it can make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken. So 10 and 12. DC is 12. The Constitution bonus is +3, so he needs a... He has 1 hit point. He's not dead yet. Just making him a bit tougher because he is on his own. So we'll let him have that ability. Now, that was Jorg, and it is Bran's turn to try and finish this zombie off after Jorg smashed him in the chest with his warhammer, but didn't quite finish him. Now, +4, 15. That is enough. Bran rolls for his sword hit to the zombie's left hand. So we're trying to hack off the zombie's left hand here. 5, 6, 7 total damage. This time the zombie's had enough. He's been defeated. So rolling for a hit location, it just adds a little extra detail. Just a tiny little extra detail. So you're not just going, he hits or misses, the monster hits or misses, he hits or misses, the monster hits or misses. You're just adding an extra little step of saying, well, he swings his sword at his right arm and hits, or he swings his sword at his leg and misses, and the zombie hops out of the way. You know, that kind of thing. Now, going back to the oracle here, I'm going to ask, is it going to be easy to get through this door, or will, and I'm going to say it's unlikely, so I'm going to put a -1 on the orange die, and I'm rolling the red die in case we get a 1, which will be a plot twist. So, will it be easy to open the door? -1 to the roll. And that's a 1. No, but there's no plot twist. And the and could mean that there is, not only is the door a bit stuck, but there's also a very sturdy lock on it. so we're going to have to try and break down the door. Now, I seem to spend most of my time when I run either 3rd edition or 5th edition looking through the rulebooks, which isn't the fun part. For this, I'm going to 3rd edition because I'm going to let them make a check each to open the door. There's even actually, yeah, here we go. Door that same one. A door that's only strong, very strong. Strong wooden door. Gosh, 23. I'm going to give it a DC of 20 because I'm going to call it a 5th edition. I can't see the chart. Oh, here it is. Hard. I'm going to call it hard in 5th edition. So I'm going to set the DC at 20. They're both going to have a go to see if they can break it in one round. Otherwise, I'm going to take 20 and open it because there may not be the pressure of time. So they each get +2. Nope. The dwarf. Nope. So they're going to take 20 and open the door. And whatever's in there, if there's a monster or anything, then they will not be surprised. And after a quick rummage through my Hero Quest furniture, I've decided that inside the room they're going to find this strange altar with some kind of arcane book on it. Now they're going to enter the room and they're going to have a look at this altar. Now this appears to be some kind of religious text, and our cleric here, Jorg, is quite good with religion. He gets a +2 bonus. So I'm going to say that he will have an... I will make it between easy and moderate. I'll make it a 12. So he's going to get a +2, trying to get a 12 with the difficulty class. 13. 15 total. So he's able to decipher the strange writings. So Jorg reads that this little watchtower is a kind of shrine that has been set up to keep the dark magic that has settled into the ground after this battle outside many years ago, to keep it at bay so that the dead don't rise. And clearly the enchantment or prayer has worn off, so they're going to have to rejuvenate it, if you like. So Jorg is going to have to take his holy symbol, I think, and pray to try and restore the sacredness, the sacred protection on this former battlefield. Now the incantation seems quite straightforward, so I'm going to make him roll a religion check again with his +2, and I'm going to make it, I'll make the DC a 10 because hey, it's Christmas, so I'll give him an easier time of it. No! That's not good. So we've got a Wraith outside. Now Wraiths are very powerful and will wipe out our level 1 characters in a heartbeat. So we're going to roll for initiative. The Wraith gets +3. The Wraith goes first, no doubt. +3 for Bran. 10 and 12. And okay. Right, what our cleric is going to need to do is to fix this. He's going to have to do this incantation again because it went so badly that he summoned a Wraith. Now, the Wraith is going to make himself there. He cannot enter the holy sacred place, but he's not going to let those two out either. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky. So that's what the Wraith does. So now it's Yorg's turn, and we really need him to do that ritual properly. So I'm going to say instead of a 10, it's going to be that bit more difficult. Actually, this is what disadvantage is for. He's going to be sweating it, so I'm going to give him disadvantage. So he still needs to get his 10 with his +2, but it will be the lowest roll. Oh no. He really needs to stop raising wraiths from the dead. Okay, Bran can't do a great deal really. I don't think he's got anything useful. He's got his longbow, but you know, it's worth a try. So he's going to shoot the Wraith by the door with his longbow, getting a +7. That is good enough. Unfortunately, he has to halve the damage. It does him 2 points of damage. Now the Wraiths will go again, and because of you're completely failing with this ritual, I'm going to give them a DC of hard at this stage, 20, to try and break through the barrier with their wisdom. They get +2 to try and get a 20. Okay, they don't make it, but if he keeps failing that ritual, then it's going to get easier and easier for them to try and get through. Now it's Yorg's turn. He rolls with disadvantage to try and get the 10. He gets a +2. 9, so close. Okay, and we're going to shoot another arrow. 20. Double damage. But, well, rolls his damage dice twice. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total, but it's a 5 because of the Wraith being resistant to normal damage. Now, the Wraiths are going to try and break through the barrier again. I'm going to bring it down to moderate now. 15. They get a +2. 6. Thank goodness they don't break through yet. But next time it will be easier if he keeps failing. He's going to go for it again. He needs a 10, adding +2 to the lower roll. 6. I've made this too hard. I'm going to shoot another arrow from Bran. That is enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 points of damage. We are not exactly doing a great deal to this Wraith, but every little bit helps. Now, oh gosh. I'm going to bring it down to easy for the Wraiths to break through because he keeps failing on the ritual. So it'll be a 10, and they add 2 to their roll. They managed to break through the barrier. The Wraith attacks Bran. It reaches out towards his left foot for some reason, adding a +6. 16. Yes, he hits. This is where it gets nasty. Bran is no more. Yorg is attacked by the Wraith. It reaches for his stomach, weirdly, adding a +6. 3, 9, it misses. He has one last chance. He summons all of his fortitude to make the incantation. His adrenaline means that he no longer has disadvantage. I'll give him that because Yeah, it could go very nasty. With his +2 religion, can he get the difficulty class of 10? These fumbles are amazing. What on earth is he playing at? He has failed. And the Wraith attacks 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 24. Well, Jorg, it was nice knowing you, but you weren't a very good cleric. Well, they did the monster mash. It caught on in a flash, and it was a graveyard smash. Our heroes have been defeated by the terrible forces of the undead at the Watchtower of Amon, Hoams. Okay, as watched over by Santa Claus himself. Merry Christmas, everyone. And thanks for watching.